together as a family. We have come here as we are. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place.
Right on cue, right?
In this house of love, we come together, one with Spirit in our hearts. In this house of love, we are connected, we are perfected in God's light, and we shine. Yes, we shine as bright as the stars above. We shine. Yes, we shine. We shine in this house of love. In this house of love, we are family, brothers and sisters in this world. In this house of love, we seek the wisdom that tells us the truth, and we're assured. And we shine, yes, we shine as bright as the stars above. We shine, yes, we shine. We shine in this house of love.
Take this moment right here and right now, and I invite you to lower your eyes or close them. Feel that song. We shine in the house of love. Love is the order of today. Love is the order of this now moment. Love is the vibration that we are connected to and are connected with as we send it out to the world, to all the parts, seen and unseen. We tap in, tune in, turn on to the quality of love in all its myriad of ways. We give deep thanks that we are coming together right here and right now. We are invoking the vibration of love as we love ourselves, each other, the planet, for this service. Love in all its moving parts is the way of being right here and right now. Let us breathe that in. Breathe it deeply. And we release. We give deep thanks for the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, creating the space and place to feel the vibration of unconditional love, pure love, for all that is, and so it is.
And so it is.
I've asked Judy to join me as we light the candles of peace. We are in the season of peace, which actually is going to come to its conclusion tomorrow, April 4th. 64 days of consciousness, but peace is a God quality we can always emulate and support. So we are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. So we have our 2 candles, and the prayer for today is the Zoronic prayer of peace. That understanding, triumph over ignorance, that generosity triumphs over indifferences, that triumphs over contempt, and that truth triumphs over falsehood. So our first candle is the healing candle of love. And I want to invite you right here and right now to just center yourself in your chair or wherever you're at. Lower your eyes. Feel the breath. Enter into the sacred service of stillness of your mind. And bring into awareness the name of any person, place, or thing you are seeking to heal with love as love. Breathe in, release. And now we light the candle of peace. Inner peace, outer peace, peace. And now that our flames have been fully lit, we move into our spiritual service, realizing, affirming, claiming in pure love that all paths lead to God. We have a sacred quote for today. I'm going to read it once and then we're going to read it together. This is by our founder, Ernest Holmes. It's from his sermon, How to Use Your Secret Power. There is something about our very nature that demands a constant communion with the invisible. All right, repeat after me. There is something, about our very nature, that demands a constant communion with the invisible. And so it is. And now for some more special music.
If I want to have more love in my life, it's time to open my heart up and let it shine. Whatever it is I truly desire is mine if I can be inspired. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else can rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. If I want to have more joy in my life, I'm gonna keep on smiling till I feel alright. The key to success is in my hands. treat and move my feet. If I want to have more peace in my life, I need to take the time to listen to the voice inside. If I know who I am and my aim is true, the only thing I've got to do, I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else can rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. I'm so glad that it's up to me. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet.
All right, a big round of applause. Woohoo! Yes! I got to treat and move my feet. That is the truth. It would be nice just to sit back and get a latte, but that's not the plan here. Yeah, that too. I'm Christina, one of the licensed practitioners here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. Before we get rolling here on a few vital announcements, is there anyone with us for the very first time that is open and receptive to a welcome packet? Okay. If you are new and you didn't want to raise your hand, that's fine. We can still give it to you after service. One of the tenets here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living and all centers for spiritual living is our practices. So we are deeply steeped in treating and moving our feet. So we offer what we call spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, after this service. And we call it a 1-minute miracle. And at this time, I'd like my fellow spiritual colleagues to stand. I have Ann, Karen, Robert, Judy. Am I missing anybody? Bob and Robert. So we're here at your disposal for a 1-minute miracle. And what that means is we will pray it up because we know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about the prayer. If that's too much for you, we have these blue sheets. Just fill them out. Put them in the box in the back. Also, you can go online to the alaskacenterforspiritualliving.org and fill out as many forms as you like. We will gather them up and know the truth. There's also a list of practitioners there, so you can get somebody's phone number, text them, and say, I want a 1-minute miracle, or I'd like to connect. We're here to connect. You're certainly connected because you've come to the right place this morning. I want to just feature something in case you don't have it, Science of Mind magazine. If you don't have a subscription, we have back issues on the back table there, on the peace table. This is 94 years in the making. There is stories, articles, affirmation, prayers. You got it all. Just leave it in the car. Take it with you. When you're done reading it, leave it somewhere for someone else. It's an awesome publication. Today's service, as well as all services, are on our YouTube channel. So you just go to your search engine, click on YouTube, type in the bar Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, and you will get a full list of all the services. We are only doing today's service by Facebook Live. Final piece, we do have a newsletter. So back to the website, alaskacenterforspiritualliving.org. There with the prayer requests, we also have different links to different practices. First and third Saturday, we have prayer and meditation. So now we can move into some of our formal announcements with the slides. But there, and then we also have midweek meditation at 5:30. We are going to be moving with other offerings, and they're all online. So we just really want you to go there because that's the place to get all the links and information. Because we are a spiritual center, we believe in circulation, not only circulation within our own consciousness, but physical circulation with monetary gifts. So we give back to our community. And this month in April, we will be giving to the Upper Susitna Food Pantry. So we physically write a check, we give it to them in support of their mission. We are going to be doing Tizay. How many here have done Tizay? Okay. Woohoo! Several people. Anne Fleming, our beloved practitioner, has been hosting this, and they've been on hiatus because of COVID. So she is bringing that back. So it is going to be this Wednesday, April 13th. The doors will open at 6. We will start the service at 6:30. If you're curious, if you want to check it out, come. It's an hour long. It will be only in person. We will not be doing this Zoom. So participate. It's really lovely. We all chant together, your prayer is my prayer too. Lovely service. This coming Wednesday, we will do Visioning for Inner Peace. Now, this is so low end. All you need is access to a phone number and a way to communicate on your phone. You could use a landline, you could use a mobile phone. In the comfort of your own environment, we are praying it up for, let me rephrase it, we are visioning it up for inner peace. And you can attend once or every month. We do it the first Wednesday of the month. The other thing that's coming in April, Sunday the 24th. What you're experiencing today results from leadership. We have leadership for our center, and we are looking for people who want to serve in that capacity. It is a form of practice. So you must be a member. If you're interested about the finer details, you can actually talk to one of our members, our guest speaker today, or you can call Reverend Don, or you can send an email from the site and say, I'm interested for more details. But there is an application deadline coming up April 5th. So there's a little bit of pre-work before you can become part of the annual meeting. But we want everybody to be part of the annual meeting. All right. So before we go into some special music, and we have a dynamic flock here of special songbirds, I want to just give you a couple little things about our guest speaker. She is dynamic on so many levels, but here's the micro thing. Her claim to fame is her commitment to this philosophy and taking it into all areas of her life. And she arrived here in a space and a need for a space to support her. She is the queen of the breath. Did you know that if you do not have, anybody does not have breath past 4 minutes, you can occur some damage? So breath is vitally important. So that's why we talk about the breath. And just as a tester, if you're not breathing, check every day. If you're not breathing full capacity, you are cutting yourself short of the necessary oxygen for your brain. But in addition to that, she is dynamic with creativity. She is bursting with movement. She loves dance. She loves singing, and she's creative. She's a woman of many talents on many fronts. I'm going to leave you with that. So we are going to sing it up, and the reason why we do put the words up on the screen is so you can sing along. So don't hesitate. Sing it out. Thank you for your attention on our announcement. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding up this one life, this one breath, this one energy, this one vibration of pure love we're singing about. Because now, more than ever, we are here to be the stewards of this philosophy. It serves no one if you're in your car saying affirmations. You know, maybe it's just holding the presence in the supermarket, or when you're at an uncomfortable situation in a meeting, whatever meeting that is. Just the word meeting brings up uncomfortable feelings. So, thank you for being part of today. And now for some more dynamic music.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still
Hello, beautiful people out here, beautiful people online. Hello? Hello? Hello, I love when you talk back to me. It's so wonderful. It makes me feel like being in the classroom, which makes me feel more comfortable because, you know, standing up here, always there's like a little nerves that show up. I want to thank Eric and Jessica for saying yes, because I changed the special music on them. We were supposed to sing about the sun, and today we really needed to sing Be Still and Know, because the talk has to do with that. So I'm going to ask you to participate at first. How many of you have ever known something like deep in your bones? Have ever had that feeling, knowing something deep in your bones? How many have had a gut feeling? How many people have had that heartfelt sense of just knowing? Strong intuition. Anyone have a strong intuition? How about gone against their better judgment? So today's talk, Is It Me You're Looking For, is really about that small, quiet voice. And it's always there. Sometimes we're not able to hear it, but it's always there. It's always with us. And that voice can be felt, that voice can be seen, that voice can be heard. So it's voice, but it's really on many levels, right? The gut, the heart. It's definitiveness. It is a knowingness, a fire in the belly, so to speak. When we're doing our affirmative prayers, they talk about that fire in the belly, that knowing it. There's a definitive yes. There's like clarity. It's the heart coherent state. So I read about when I was doing research for the talk, I looked up a whole bunch of different kind of science articles about this gut feeling and this heart. And as Christina was talking about it, which I think that Christina has a talk brewing up inside of her, because I could feel that fire there at the end. So that gut that she was talking about, that really is where our breath comes. How many people have heard of belly breathing? Yes? And so belly breathing really is like that center of our breathing. We have the breath that we talk about in our lungs, but when we're really doing that deep belly breathing, that's what brings us back to our calm. We can get like hyperventilated here, right? But really when we seep down into that breath of our gut, that's really what brings us into that calm state. But really what I want to talk about is our brains and our hearts today. Did you know that the breath that helps us regulate our brain waves is in the heart, and that the brain waves found in our heart is really relates to that small, still voice. So in the article, could the energy of the hearts change the world? Could the energy of our hearts change the world? How many believe that is possible, that the energy of our hearts could change the world? And you don't even know what I'm going to talk to you about with that article. Yet, you very much know that there is a truth about that. Dr. Roland McCready breaks down the science of the signals that the heart sends to the brain that profoundly affect our perceptions, our brain function, and our emotional experience. The heart sends more neurological signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. So there's more brain matter going on in our heart than there really is brain matter going on in our brain. Because the heart feeds the brain is the way that I look at it, instead of the brain feeding the heart. There are 4 ways that our heart and our brain communicate. Neurologically, that's through the nerve impulses. That's how they communicate. Energetically, it's through a magnetic field, and they are produced the beating heart. It's the heart of Mother Earth, It's the way that it communicates to every cells in our bodies. There's actual research that shows how that beat connects to each other and to every living thing. When we were in Kona, Hawaii recently, my son and my daughter-in-law went swimming with the manta rays, and he could feel, like when they were touching him, he could feel the connection. That connection was happening through his heart. He couldn't express that, but while reading this article, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like how we connect with everything through our heart. Biochemically, the heart is a major source of hormones. The heart manufactures and releases as much oxytocin as the brain. And the oxytocin, right, people? That's the love language, right? That's like the empathy, it's the mom breastfeeding, it's like the patience, the love, the sexual chemistry that you have with someone. That's a feel-good hormone. How many people want more oxytocin in their life? It comes from your heart. And then biophysically, it's the blood flow to your heart. They talk about that when your heart is beating and the blood is going down into your heart, you can feel that pulse through your whole body. The heart responds first to unknown future events that the brain couldn't predict. Did you know that? The heart sent measurably different neurological signals to the brain in anticipation of the event. Have you ever felt like, I think I felt like this before, or this experience feels familiar? It's because your heart has already felt that before that experience ever happened. As Christina was reading our little quote there is something about our very nature that demands a constant communion with the invisible. This is because our parents are the vessel, right, that brought us into our humanness. But really, we're all created and personified from the I am, the truth, love, creator, spirit, God. What are some of the words that you use to express that? Universe. Source. Divine. Love. All of those are true. It's whatever word works for you. But really, we are all manifested from that one source, that one. And so, yes, our parents are our relations, and we're all related, but we're all really related, right? Maybe not through our DNA, but really we are related through that other DNA that is God, that is spirit, that's the I am. This inner voice is ever present, guiding us to navigate the constant flow of our lives. Are we listening, or is the inner chaos, or I learned this new word this week, I was so excited, cacophony. Cacophony. Have people heard that word before? Cacophony? It was new to me. I was very excited. It's like a harsh, jarring sound, similar to chaos, right? So, is that so intense and so prevalent in your life that you can't hear the small, quiet voice inside? To know what this voice is, let's first explore what it's not. It is not the should, shouldn't, could, couldn't, would, wouldn't that comes from where? Up there, the brain, our heads. The stories that justify our actions. When we get defensive, we want to justify, right? It is not that. Following what we are propelled to do out of fear, neediness, loneliness, not enoughness, ness. It may not seem logical. Do you think most people thought that Noah's Ark was logical? They probably thought that he was quite insane. So it may not seem logical. It can be discerned. It cannot be discerned when you are having strong emotional feelings. When you are coming from a place other than the prefrontal cortex. You're coming from the back part of your brain where it's fight, flight, freeze, emotional. That is not the quiet voice inside. There is something that's needed in that experience to get you out of something, but it's not the quiet voice. If we make life decisions by listening to the noise and not the silence, we are working from the space and place of fear and unconsciousness. And we spend time suffering from the consequences of our actions. And sometimes that happens because we're humans and we have mistakes. So it's going to happen. We are in our humanness. We spend time in our humanness. But this is more about talking about how to get connected more often to that small, quiet voice inside us all. The noise can be strong. The noise is distracting. The noise feeds the ego. The ego likes to be fed. Yes? It really does like to be fed. It's the small self that feels hurt. It feels justified. Just in that now moment. So recently, I was traveling, and I had a long flight. The flight had been gotten by an agency, and I was going down to someplace, but I needed to go to Austin, Texas first, and then to Kansas. And it was traveling overnight. I hadn't had a lot of sleep, and I lost my phone in the airport. And my lifeline is my phone. Everything I needed was on my phone. I did have some sort of small voice inside that told me to bring my iPad. So I had my iPad, because where I was going, I had no idea how to get there, and I needed maps that was in my phone, and I needed some information that was in my phone. And how many people know that you can't really get to your Gmail account if it's set up on your phone using any other device when you're trying to get to any of your other stuff? Because they have securities, which is wonderful to have securities. So I'm rushing because I remember that I left it in the bathroom, and then I hear over the intercom, Karen Valera-Sherman, your flight is about to leave. Please get to gate, da 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 da. I'm like, thank goodness I was in a small airport. And I could feel my body. I was in that emotional state that I had talked to you about. I was trying to pray. I started breathing. When I get to the gate, I tell my story because I'm stuck in my story. I lost my phone. The lady tells me, and she's wonderful. She says, we have a lost and found. If it's found, right, coming from a place of hope, possibility, if it's found, it will be returned to lost and found. I get on the airplane. I'm still stuck in my story. I tell the stewardess, who tells me, oh, your phone is long gone. You better get another phone. I'm like, that is not the truth. That is not my belief system. I have to get to that. And I knew that I wasn't ready for prayer, because every time I tried to pray, and in those moments, if I had been home, I would have called Christina or another practitioner to help me. But I have been in meditation, and I practice meditation, so I knew that I had to get myself to a meditative state first. A meditative state is not necessarily a long sitting down of meditation. It's using my belly breath. It's getting myself to a place of peace, being able to hear that small voice. And I knew in that instant, once I got there, my phone was going to be there for me. I was not going to have to get a new phone. I knew that my phone was okay. It wasn't where I was, and I wasn't where it was, but I knew that I was going to have my phone. And so when I got done doing what I needed to do, when I arrived, and I got to the hotel, I called, and by the time I had gotten home, I got in touch with who I needed to get in touch with, paid $50, and my phone arrived the next day. So I knew that I was going to have my phone. I was a little frustrated that I didn't have it in that moment, but I guided myself through that. But I got to a meditative state. I prayed. I didn't hope. I had faith. Faith is vital. Hope is wishing. Faith is knowing. And I knew. So, how do we know and recognize the small, quiet voice? How do we recognize the voice of truth? That, as Michael Beckwith says, true talking. It moves us towards self-love and love for humanity, love for others. It brings enjoyment and peace. There is no sense of fear, worry, a sinking feeling that something is wrong. Our body goes from this and this to this. It unclenches, it feels relaxed and calm. There's a sense of clarity, excitement, relief, and undeniable knowing. I had that yes. So, how do we get out of our own way and allow the small, still voice to be revealed? How do we magnify the whisper of our soul and guide ourselves to live a more incredible life? It's called meditation. It's meditation. Meditation really is our superpower. And through that regular practice, we can bring ourselves to a meditative state. It really is about regular practice. And then we can pray and move our feet, as the song said. But really it's be still and know. How are you going to get to the be still and know? Daily meditation. And if you would like support with that, here's my infomercial. Tap one of the licensed practitioners on the shoulder and say, please help me know how to get into a meditative state. It does not always have to look quiet, right, Bob? It can be walking, right, Bob? Out in nature. That's one of Bob's favorite ways to meditate. It can be loving kindness ritual that Christina and I love to do. There are many. It can be while you're eating. It can be while you're going to the bathroom in the morning as your morning ritual, right? You're getting relaxed. Hey, I'm serious when I say this. We were laughing a little bit, right? Because it makes people uncomfortable. But really, that's a total thing of prayer, right? You're like, you know, you release. Right? Every time you go to the bathroom, it is really a meditative state. I'm serious when I say this. It really is a quick meditative state. Think about that from now on when you're in the bathroom. This is the way that I meditate. And so, Christina is coming up now for our prayer. Thank you.
All right, we're going to pray it up. So, in keeping with our practice, I invite you, if you feel comfortable, to lower your eyes or close them. Feel the love as we hear this beautiful music. We step out of the contrast, the chatter of our minds. We are already divine, whole, and complete. We have the fully programmed software, spiritual software, to tap in, tune in, turn on the recent version of pure love. Put your hand on your heart. Feel that. It is a living organ that is required to be here right now. Know with me that we give ourselves full sway and permission to be open from this point forward to the love messages, to the pure love that comes to us, through us, and as us. We have the courage to say yes to its soft, still voice. We know it without a shadow of a doubt because we have said yes. Say yes with me. Yes! We are saying yes to pure love, to knowing it as intimately as we know our breath. So we breathe that in. We feel it. We know it. We say yes. Each and every day we say yes, multiple times a day. Love, be my guiding light. Love, show me the way. Love, let me turn away from contrast and step into the abyss. And for this and all the loving moments that come to us, through us, and as us, we simply say yes. And we release this to the perfect working of a perfect law that goes before us and lovingly prepares the space and place for us to say yes to more love, to an expansion of love, to a deep commitment to that small, still voice, and all that it is saying and asking us to say yes to. For this and so much more, we release it and we affirm by saying, and so it is. Namaste.
Remember way down deep inside me, I've got the power to love. No matter what is happening around me, I've got the power to love. Lay down my burdens, I've got the power to love. Come on and open my heart and mind, I've got the power to love. Remember way down deep inside me, I've got the power to love. No matter what is happening around me, I've got the power to love. Lay down my tears and fears, I've got the power to love. Come on and open my eyes and ears, I've got the power to love. Remember way down deep inside me, I've got the power to love. No matter what is happening around me, I've got the power to love. Lay down my righteousness, I've got the power to love. Come on and open my spaciousness, I've got the power to love. Remember, I've got the power to love.
To do what?
I've got the power to love.
One more time.
I've got the power to love.
Now is that wonderful time in our service where we get to practice the law of circulation. Join me, please, as we say our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. Thank you. I have a check that I need to write.
God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source. God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need, so I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source. God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source. God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source, God is my power, God is my source.
We would like to recognize the following people who spent time with us online today, and that would be Lynn and Marion, Jean, Luann, Cindy Hensley, Judith Mack, Pamela, our own Rev Don, who is at his cabin, and look at that, he's still joining us, and Cynthia George. Thank you all. It is such a blessing to have you join us online.
All right, this is the part in our service where we're coming to a close. So we're going to benedict ourselves out. That's our form of closing prayer. Again, I invite you to lower your eyes, maybe close them. Feel that God is your source. Love is your power. We've been speaking it up today, so you are fully engaged as you move from this moment in time out into the world, to the rest of the day, and to your week. Know that love is your guiding light. It is your small, still voice. It is the power that will transform, transmit, and transmute any circumstance, situation, and event. We give deep thanks for our special musician today, our piano player, our songbirds, our speaker, Karen, each and every practitioner, all the people streaming, everyone that said yes to this service, yes to love, what made up this sacred moment. The Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, we are all about love and the transmission of love, pure love and inner peace. We take it as a serious obligation and stewardship as we move beyond this moment. And for this and all the moving parts in our lives, we say yes, and together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. You've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I